to West Talk. I'm filling in as your host today. My name is Autumn Gale. You might recognize me from our other wildly popular Rogers TV show, Explore NL, but today I'm filling in for my friend Dustin Parsons, and I have two special guests here to interview. We're going to get started with Johnston Miller. He is going to talk to us about disc golfing here in Corner Brook. He's one of the founding members of Corner Brook Disc Golf. So, what is disc golf?
That's a great question, and a lot of people have that question, but if you think about it for just a second, you probably have a pretty good idea of what it is. So just like golf is you are hitting a ball from a tee area towards a target, disc golf is the same thing, but instead you're using a disc, like a frisbee, and trying to do the same thing. And so similar in basic structure, but the actual kind of execution is very different because most of the disc golf courses are public courses, so they're free to play. Anybody can play them anytime. You don't need to book a tee time. You can just show up and play. That'll be the case for the course that is being built here in Corner Brook right now. And so very different than golf, than traditional golf in that way, in that it doesn't quite have the same level of infrastructure associated with it as a traditional ball golf course.
Right, so it seems a little bit more casual. I've definitely seen them in other places in the world, but I'm outside every day here in Corner Brook, and I haven't seen a disc golf course here, so is it underway, or where is it going?
I just came from digging holes to put in some of the baskets for the course. So in disc golf, instead of hitting a ball at a hole, you are throwing a disc at a target, usually a basket, kind of a basket that will catch the disc that has chains hanging from the top of it, and the idea is that you would hit the chains and have the disc fall into the basket below. So I just came just now. I was digging some of the holes that are going to be the baskets for Corner Brook's first disc golf course.
So where can we expect to see this course?
It's up and around the Atlantic softball and soccer field, so near Captain Cook's Lookout.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so there's a few holes if you're looking at the soccer field to the left, it's going to start off going to the left and around, and then you're going to go between the soccer field and the baseball field, and then go into the woods there between the parking lot and Captain Cook's Lookout, and then there's wooded holes there, and then it's still a little unsure of the final design, what it's going to be, but there is plans to then have the course go all the way back. It was new to me, there's actually an abandoned quarry back past in that direction. Apparently it was operational about 20 years ago, and been a lot of growth of trees in the area, and it's perfect for a disc golf course. There's lots of natural areas to kind of to throw a disc. So it has the potential to be a truly spectacular course. I had high hopes for what Corner Brook could produce as far as a disc golf course goes, and this has exceeded my expectations.
Well, it's definitely going to have a good view up there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's the goal date to have this operational?
We are planning, it is tentatively planning a grand opening on June 30th. There'll be
soon.
So very soon. It's again, disc golf, I know we're it feels like we're to the wire, but it doesn't require the kind of the manicuring, the landscaping of a traditional ball golf course. I mean, because you get to just pick up the disc instead of having to hit it off the ground. The ground is going to be pretty rough at first. There has been a lot of land clearing that's been going on, so there's a lot of mulched, some of the smaller shrubs. We want to leave the big trees. Those are good to have at a disc golf course. It's good to have obstacles. It makes the course challenging. So, but there is a lot of shrubbery and mulch that's all on the ground now.
Yeah, so you're still very much like in nature.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to evolve with time as that fresh, cut roughage decomposes. It's going to have a nice solid base, and it's going to make for a great course.
Awesome. I'm always down to have like a new outdoor activity to do here in Corner Brook.
Yeah.
So what's the barrier to entry here? What do I need to buy? How do I learn how to play?
Absolutely. It is, I think, one of the smallest barrier to entry sports out there. I mean, you can literally play with any disc, any frisbee you have lying around the house.
Those are not
But we do have some there are special discs that are designed for disc golf. They kind of take two main purposes. One, they go a lot further than your average, beach frisbee, or, I have a lot of Paw Patrol frisbees around my house. I don't know about you. But so these will go if you have the arm strength for it, go quite a bit further. And also, as you know from living in Corner Brook, we have a lot of trees, and so these will stand up pretty well to being whacked into a tree quite a bit.
Gotcha.
So these are different than your average Frisbee. And one thing that your viewers might not know if they don't know much about disc golf is, so like regular golf, like ball golf, there are different types of discs, and we call them similar, with using similar terms that they use in ball golf. So we have putters, which go kind of a shorter distance. We have what we call mid-ranges, which are kind of the equivalent of like irons in golf. And then we have drivers. And you can tell just by the difference, I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera here, but the thickness and the edge, the sharpness of the edge. So that's going to reduce drag, which is going to allow this disc, gives it the potential to go a lot further, because it has a lot less drag, but it also is harder to control. So that is kind of, they recommend when people are just starting out to really just throw mid-ranges and putters. And a putter is a little different. You're not going to throw, you're not going to hit, even on a short hole, you're not going to tee off with your putter, but plenty of people when playing disc golf will throw with their putter as the very first shot, or for a big hard shot, because it is usually generally the more controllable disc. It's easier to kind of know expect where it's going to go.
Okay. So once you're up and running, I know I don't like to fail at anything I try, so I definitely want to learn how to do this before I go out by myself and have a round.
Absolutely.
So are we going to have some courses or classes?
Yeah. So I'm the one of the founding members of an organization called Corner Brook Disc Golf, and our main goal, especially just starting out, is to get as many people to play as possible. And so, like I mentioned, the grand opening on June 30th, which we plan to have 50 discs free to give out to the first 50 people that show up. So there'll be a disc there. We have the course designer will be there giving a clinic. We have other members of our group and organization who will be there to teach anybody who's interested. And also our short-term goal is to have a consistent night. We need to work out the details on that. You should look at our social media and website for that. But a consistent night where every night there will be someone from Corner Brook Disc Golf there to teach you how to play disc golf. So we're thinking probably either some evening or an afternoon on the weekend where, because I know how it is, if there's something new, you want to try it, but you're not sure. But if there's a consistent time where somebody's always going to be there to teach you, they'll be there. So I encourage anyone who's interested to show up to the opening, because nothing better than a free disc. But if you miss out on that, you could. I learned to play just by myself. I didn't have anybody to teach me how to play. I just went to the store, bought a few discs, went around.
I feel like that's how most people probably learn.
I think so, but a lot of people will bring friends as well, struggled through it, but loved it by the end of it. But I do think that barrier to entry is feeling unsure about something new and not sure what to do. And we want to do, as an organization, do everything we can to mitigate that. We're planning on getting in, talking to the schools about getting field trips up to the course, or going to the schools ourselves and bringing portable baskets, and just to kind of introduce the sport, because I know it's a new thing for most people in Corner Brook. I think a lot of people maybe they were walking through a park and saw a basket somewhere and thought, oh, what's that? Or they've seen some people play it, but they just don't really know what it is, because it is a sport that fits in kind of in the crevices and the corners. It's not like a big golf course that needs to take up a lot of space. I think a lot of people will be surprised that there is a disc golf course in Corner Brook. If they don't know about it, they'll just sort of, people will kind of emerge from the forest and like, what were you doing in there? And they'll come out being like, oh, lots of birdies, lots of bogeys. But it's a great, I think Corner Brook is a perfect place for it. I've been thinking for 2 years now, just about how to get a course here and where to get it, and what we're getting is exceeding my expectations.
Good. So we're hoping that it'll be up and running by the end of June. Is there a way that our viewers can follow along for updates? And
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a Facebook page, Corner Brook Disc Golf, where we as a group will be posting information. We have a website, cornerbookdiscgolf.ca or cbdg.ca, that has a link to enter your email address to be on our mailing list. And there's also, I'm also a member of the broader provincial organization, Disc Golf NL, which is the provincial body that is is seized to regulate and promote the sport. And they are the driving force behind us getting this course. So they also have a website, discgolfnl.com, and a mailing list that you can sign up there for more information about disc golf throughout the province. Because that is the thing about disc golf, and one thing I'll mention that, so the opening is July 30th, but then on July 1st and July 2nd, there's going to be a tournament, which will bring people in from out of province, will bring people in from out of town. Yeah, no, there will be people. There's one person I know from, I think he's from PEI, who's registered already, and we expect this course to be something special that people will travel for. It's at that, it has that potential. It's a sport that people. It's small, it's growing. It's a sport that has done incredibly well with the pandemic. It's an outdoor, socially distance-friendly sport that encourages
and not
exercise.
super physically demanding. You can do that just on a leisurely day.
Yeah. And so it has exploded in popularity, and we're seeing kind of the effects of it making its way east. It's actually kind of an older sport. It's from about I think it started in about the 60s and 70s, just as you think of the hippies with their frisbees kind of coming up with all different ways to play with their frisbees. And so one of the things they came up with disc golf, and it's kind of just grown steadily every year with this big boom in the last 2 years. That's been really great to see.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited about this. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having something else to do here in Corner Brook on a nice sunny day where you don't really want to go for a run, but you want to be outdoors. So I'll definitely follow along on your Facebook group, Disc Golf.
Corner Brook Disc Golf.
Corner Brook Disc Golf. Okay. Yeah. Follow along, and everyone else follow along and pay attention to when we're going to have a new activity to do here in Corner Brook. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
All right, we're back, and I'm here with Jenny Brook, Western Vice Chief of Halibut First Nation, and also with Grenfell Campus. Jenny, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, I am the Western Vice Chief of Halibut First Nation. I am the Student Support Officer for Indigenous Affairs with Grenfell Campus, and I'm also the chair of an organization called Empowering Indigenous Women for Stronger Communities. Yeah.
Now, I've heard a lot about empowering Indigenous women for stronger communities, but I actually don't know a lot about it. I'd love to hear a little bit.
Oh, sure. I'm great at talking up that organization. I'm really proud of the work that we do, so it's easy to talk about it, and all the things I'm involved in, I'm proud of. But this particular project involves the 4 Indigenous groups in the province, which is very unique. So the Inuit, the Southern Inuit, the Innu, and the Mi'kmaq. So we have approximately 35 women that came together about 4 years ago. And it was a pilot project, and it was put together to bring cultural healing into communities, to bring awareness around violence against women and mental health. So we started out, we got together in Goose Bay about 4 years ago. We all met, sat in a circle, told our stories, cried a little, laughed a little. Came to realize that through our training in mental health awareness and violence prevention, that we all needed to kind of do a little healing ourselves. Right. So through the project, all of us women that have been involved have gone on this incredible journey of healing and working in community. And we've brought the men in to do healing with the men because, to heal an entire community,
we all need to heal.
We all need to heal. And, looking at where the violence stems from, there's a lot of intergenerational trauma within Indigenous communities. So we've done a lot of work around that. So many years in the government funding, we're kind of like, well, we don't really want to be reliant on government funding, and we don't want to ever stop. So we started this really cool social enterprise called Dragonfly Moons.
Okay.
We have this incredible branded clothing. I'm calling it incredible because myself and my dear friend Susie Randall and I designed the logo.
Amazing.
It's really beautiful. It represents the 4 Indigenous communities. We've put out these quarterly empowerment boxes that speak to the Indigenous people that are in these boxes, the crafters, the artisans, the healing teachings from the medicine wheel, and it's really incredible. It's come to a point, like, every time we get together, it's like, how can we top this? And we always do. We've had visitors from different organizations, and Susan Aglukart, she's an Indigenous musician. She came and hung out with us. We've had Cheekbone Beauty, the CEO and founder, Jen Harper, came and hung out with us and talked about her business and give us tips on how to develop our social enterprise. We've had, oh my God, Eastern Owl come sing with us.
Nice.
I mean, we've done things that have just been like, every time we get together, it's like, are we really doing this? Like, we've really made some beautiful impacts, I think. I'm really proud of the work that we do.
And how is that presented? Is this in like community forums? Is this open to the public? How do people get involved with that?
So we meet every 6 months. We all come together. We brainstorm about what we need in our communities, and then we go out and we deliver workshops. So through COVID, I mean, like everyone, it was a lot of virtual workshops. So we're hoping to get boots to ground again and back in community. So we just advertise workshops, like come and do land-based experiences with us, or come learn how to make a drum, and then in the process of learning about culture, the hands-on tools, we talk about things. We try to open up the conversation around mental health awareness and violence prevention, and do teachings. We try to connect youth and elders together to, empower them to, walk that path and do good work in the community as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, we have this beautiful elder advisory board, which is, it's incredible. We've had Elizabeth Panashaway come hang out and talk about her book and her life experiences. I mean, it's just awesome. I'm really proud of the work that we do there.
I can tell, yeah. You really beam when you talk
Oh,
about it.
yeah,
I love to see
it's fantastic. It's really cool. Yeah.
And so what about your role with Grenfell campus? Is this a fairly new role? What does it entail?
It is. I just started with Grenfell, I think, March month. I was working with the Office to Advance Women Apprentices because I'm also a welder. And that contract ended. It's a non-for-profit, an incredible organization that empowers tradeswomen and connects them with employers. And so when that term was up, I fell right into the role with Grenfell on a contract. And I've been there, just 3 or 4 months-ish now. And I hit the ground running. There's so much work to be done.
Of course.
I mean, coming out of COVID especially, where we're anticipating students being physically back on campus. So we've got a really cool fall planned out for them, and even the summer programs with the youth programs, and we have an English second language program coming through Grenfell this summer that I'm going to be doing some cultural teachings and bringing in some, guest speakers and things for them. So
yeah, so that's kind of my next question. So what is it exactly? Are you speaking to all of the students of Grenfell, or do you have like a very direct program?
Well, I work with the Indigenous students specifically. I have trouble saying that, I guess, because I would never, ever turn someone away from the door that wanted to learn about Indigenous culture, because allyship is key.
Yes.
We want everyone to be educated on Indigenous culture, because then we have a more respectful workplace, education, it goes so broad. So it's really important. So the doors are open to everyone. I'm there to make sure that the students get what they need culturally, so that they feel supported. I mean, a lot of them are away from home. They may miss out on certain things like lighting the hulik, or smudging, or, making their regalia for powwow season, or whatever it is they might need. I'm there to support them on that journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, so talking about, powwow season coming up, it's also tourism season. There's a lot of new Indigenous tourism happening here in Western Newfoundland, which I love to see. And so as your role as Western Vice Chief, what's coming up this summer? I know it's National Indigenous History Month right now, so is there any events or anything the community should know about?
Well, Grenfell campus and Memorial campus in St. John's has a lot of active social media around Indigenous History Month. So I would really encourage everybody to follow that, because they'll be putting in a lot of facts. We'll be doing some live interviews with community partners, just educational pieces around the rich, beautiful history of Indigenous people. There's so much. I mean, we could go on for much longer than a month. It's wonderful. So keep an eye on that. Powwow season is coming up. So the Conn River Powwow is the 1st to the 3rd. And then the Flat Bay of July.
Yep.
So sorry, yeah, of July. And then August, I think 7th to the 9th, just the following weekend, is the Flat Bay Powwow. So that one's really amazing as well. And then here in Corner Brook at the Blomidon Cross Country Ski Lodge in August, in mid-August, we're having a Maui Omi. So that's similar to a powwow, but it's more of just a gathering celebration. It's not as formal with a roundhouse and presenters, and it's a little different. So yeah, that's going to be a really wonderful event as well. That's going to take place right here in Corner Brook.
I feel like I've seen a little bit about that just through the cultural Facebook group, the Cultural Association's Facebook group.
Yeah. So that would be the Hollywood Cultural Foundation, which is, we're not the same. A lot of people confuse us because of the name, but the Hollywood Cultural Foundation was conceived by Hollywood back when the band started, but it's the non-for-profit arm. So when you support the Cultural Foundation, you support cultural in community, and it's not specific to membership. It's just giving culture to community. So it's a wonderful organization, and they are actually having a auction and gala dinner in Grand Falls, Windsor coming up now this month, I think around the 24th.
So it's the first month that or the first year that it's not been in Corner Brook, sorry. Yeah.
We have a lot of Mi'kmaq people in Central, St. John's, so we've been asked and encouraged to float around a little bit more, have more of a presence in the other areas of the province. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
so
good to
I'm
get
really
more people
looking
involved.
Oh yes, my goodness, and they have a really nice evening planned out. Paul Pike is going to perform.
Nice.
They have Juniper Restaurant Catering, I believe, there in Grand Falls. I've never eaten there. I've heard wonderful things. So yeah, it's going to be like a nice traditional meal.
Yeah, so let's talk about the band and everything that it has going on right now. Is there any upcoming events or any associations or anything that are up and coming or events coming up?
We're always working. So a few years back, we started a comprehensive community plan, and one of these staff employees took that on and did a lot of community engagement. And through COVID, bless her heart, I mean, it couldn't have been easy to engage with people during a pandemic.
Yes.
She did her very best and came out with this beautiful document called our comprehensive community plan. So basically, it's what the community wants to see us do, and it talks about the history of Hollywood and the people that came to bring it all together. So it's a really cool document. I do believe it's available on our website, which we will be updating and revamping a little, so stay tuned for that. We had a conference, so we had a lot of, it was the Atlantic CCP, so Comprehensive Community Plan. So we had some really wonderful partners come in from Atlantic Canada all the way out to Hautauquaix in British Columbia.
Wow.
And talk about their comprehensive community plans and their methods in their communities. And that was really valuable information to share.
Yeah.
So we did gain a lot from that experience.
What were some really I'm very curious, what are some key takeaways from that? Because I know in Corner Brook sometimes we don't feel like an Indigenous community, we just feel like Indigenous people in any community.
Well, that's what we're working on. So comprehensive community plan is making sure that people feel at home here. They see a reflection of themselves. We've come a long ways. I mean, the Mi'kmaq flag is hung in City Hall. I created it myself. We have the Miigwech Garden. We have, they're in Majestic Lawn. We have the Corner Brook sign that has our, Maddie Mitchell there. I mean, they're just visuals, but visuals go a long way when it makes someone feel at home. You want to see yourself in your community. Within the comprehensive community plan, we got to speak to other organizations and other Indigenous organizations within Atlantic Canada and British Columbia, and talk about the things that they're doing to help their communities. So, like with heating programs and home improvement programs, that's a big one. We have an aging population, so we got to talk to them about that, and that's something that we're working on right now. So we have I think they just put out a home heating rebate that people could apply for. It was kind of a draw that you go in for. And there's an application open right now, I think until maybe the 24th of June, for a home repair program, up to $5,000 in home repairs. So we're seeing the need. We're hearing the membership say, we need A, B, and C, and we're trying to accommodate that. You know, it's always, you know, going out and finding the funding through government and then bringing it back to the community. But that's where we are with it. We're really trying to do that. Language is a big piece. We have Dean Simon employed at the band, and he's a language specialist, so he's working. He's always available. You know,
I'm a big fan of Dean.
I can call up Dean just about any time of day, and you know, we have other members in the community as well that are really well versed in language. Dean works with us at the band. He's employed, and you know, he's great. I call him up, and he'll send sound bites of him saying it, and he'll be like, "Okay, record yourself now, send it back to me." He's great. I mean, you know, he's always really helpful in that respect. What else do we have going? There's always something. I mean, the outdoor education program is just finishing up at Kill Devil Camp up in Grossmoor National Park.
What did that entail?
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's land-based learning. It's just getting kids out on the land.
So it's for youth.
For youth,
Yeah.
it falls under the grade 5 social studies curriculum. I actually worked it years ago, and there's no better experience for a kid, honestly. I fully believe that. It's just, you wake up in the morning with your peers, you're outside, you wake up to the mountains, you educate yourself on like moose and land, and there's an estuary they go down and pick around, and the kids that, I worked in the school system for 10 years. Kids that do not thrive in the classroom, not only thrive at Kill Devil, they become the leaders of the pack. It's just something to see. It's really cool. So yeah, I mean, we have so much going on. We're always trying to improve the services that we have at Hollywood First Nation. But you know, keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on social media. I have my own Facebook page as well, Jenny Break Western.
Okay.
So I always try to keep that updated with any available programs that we have, not just through Hollywood, but through any partnering organization within the province that services community.
Well, thank you very much. We're just going to go to a quick commercial break.
So why volunteer at Rogers TV? Well, it's fun, exciting, and challenging. You can develop practical, hands-on skills in TV production, make new friends, and have fun, all while giving back to your community. For a few hours a week, you can be part of a great team making great local television. Want to find out more? Get in touch with us at rogerstv.com. Make your mark and find a new passion as a Rogers TV volunteer.
Thank you so much for joining us on West Talk today. This is actually our season finale. Like every season, we try to feature as many people in our local community as possible, and we had a lot of stars this season and looking forward to the next. Thank you so much to Jenny for joining me today. I really enjoy talking to people who love what they're doing, and I can tell from talking to you that you're very passionate about your work. I can tell you're very well suited for your position. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thanks so much. I enjoy being here. I appreciate it.
Goodbye.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
Operation Smile, alongside our medical volunteers, provides safe cleft surgery to children free of charge thanks to generous donors like you. That was until we fell into a pandemic.
If you only knew what I'm going.
By December, tens of thousands more children will be waiting for surgery. Please help us keep our promise and deliver smiles to children in need when surgeries resume.
Looking for the best way to get the Major League Baseball games you want to watch? Rogers Super Sports Pack has you covered. With MLB Extra Innings, you'll have a premium ticket to out-of-market regular season games with all games available in HD. Don't miss the action from the games you want from both the American and National Leagues. MLB Extra Innings, part of the Super Sports Pack. For only $35.95 a month, Rogers customers get all this for one all-inclusive price. Order using your remote starting on channel 431 or visit rogers.com today.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.